Everyone, you know what time it is. It is time for another movie review, and yes, you guessed it, even though the image is right here, probably over there. I'll be reviewing Scary Movie 6, so stick around. We're gonna have some fun with this one.
Scary Movie.
Yes, at the start of this video, I said I'm going to be talking about Scary Movie 6, starring Anna Faris, Regina Hall, Shawn Wayans, Marlon Wayans. The list goes on. But yeah, obviously, you know, that's your main cast. What do I have to say about this movie? And if you don't know from this movie, and if you don't know from Scary Movie 1 to Scary Movie 4 and 5, let's go, yeah. Wait a minute. I totally forgot about 5. Anyway. If you don't know from scary movies, they're parodies of other horror movies, and they include parodies of other horror movies within the movie. So it's very meta that way. This is what a lot of people my age grew up with. It was peak comedy, it was peak fun. There was no wokeness about itself, so you can make fun of everything and anything, and nothing was off the table, and it was very fun. So, if you don't know, Scary Movie 6 kind of follows that same kind of thing, where everything is a joke, or can be made fun of, but do the jokes hit? I want to say yes. I would say most of the time. Maybe a bit more. I'm being maybe generous because I'm maybe a bit biased, but I do love the Wayans brothers. But looking at it objectively, I would say about 60% of the time the jokes really hit, and I like background comedy as well. So there was a lot of background comedy, especially if you're looking for signs on, you know, people's front yards, or looking at, you know, a roller coaster behind the scene at an adventure park, stuff like that. It really plays into my style of humor. But does that humor work now? Yes, I want to say yes if it's done in the right way. I think this movie tried to do it, but it tried to do maybe too much. And I'll try and explain this as best as I can without spoiling anything, or try to spoil it. In Scary Movie 1 and 2, when it was directed by the Wayans brothers, you had a story that consistently followed through with little things of with little parodies of other movies and ads and all that stuff throughout the movie. But it didn't take away from the main plot, it actually just carried it along. That's what happened in Scary Movie 1 and 2. Spoilers alert, you know. Scary Movie 1 was an adaptation of a parody of Scream, but it had, you know, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it had, I think, the usual suspects towards the end, if you don't know. But so, you know, but you were trying to guess who the killer was throughout the whole movie. You know, killers in that point. Same with Scary Movie 2. You were in a haunted mansion, and you didn't really take away from the haunted mansion by doing other subplots. Scary Movie 6 feels like a lot of random events, or just randomness. And I think that's maybe the day and age, and maybe that's the parody in and itself, is that we're losing our attention spans, so the comedy just keeps coming in different forms. So there'll be one scene of the substance, then the next scene goes back to trying to find out who the killer is, and then another scene of you know, shorties streaming with, you know, spoiler alert, Kai Cenat makes an appearance. So it just seems like it's a broken plot or a broken movie, because it just keeps hitting hard with comedy from other movies. but it doesn't carry the plot any more forward. So was it funny? Yes. But was it a good movie? No. So that's where I kind of land on it. I did thoroughly like the jokes. I thought they were really great. I think you could have pushed the line a little bit more, because as much as there's no holds barred, it did seem kind of tame. I would say I would seen more heavy hitting comedy on, the roast of Kevin Hart or any stand-up material like Andrew Schultz or something like that. And I know it's not a stand-up kind of movie, but I do think that the jokes were a little bit tame compared to what we are trying to get to right now, with humor trying to get back to where it used to be. So this is my takeaway, maybe my final thoughts on the movie. If I were to say anything about this movie, I would say maybe don't go see it in the cinema. As much as I don't want to say that, maybe, obviously make your own opinion. And on that note, I would say this is more of a streaming movie. This is definitely a Paramount Plus streaming movie to just chill out with some friends, family, whatever it is. Obviously not kids, but just saying that, this is not, I don't think this is a movie that you need to go watch in cinemas. I think this is one to go quick onto the streaming service, because I think that's what it was made for. So if you go see it, I think you'll have a laugh or two, but I just don't think it hits the same mark as what we're used to. Maybe I'm just living in nostalgia, but I don't think the jokes hit as hard as we wanted them to, or as we think they will, because they kept promising or kept saying that, we're going to cross the lines, and there's no lines. Everything is up for grabs, but I didn't really feel it. Like there was some great bits and great jokes, but a lot of those jokes took away from the main plot, and it didn't really seem to have a main plot. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts on the movie. I do say if you do decide to go see it, make your own opinion. But those are my thoughts. That's my review. I wish there was more to it. I really do. But I do think the new Scary Movie is a streaming movie and not a movie that you need to go watch in the cinemas. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed this review of Scary Movie 6. 5, I don't know. It's a newer Scary Movie. I've forgotten 2, 3. I've forgotten 3, 4, and probably 5. I have no idea. But it's been a long time. Maybe I'm getting it confused by 2026. Who knows? But either way, go watch it if you go watch it. But if you do end up watching it 3 months later down the track on streaming services, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm your host, Ash, and that is my latest review on Scary Movie 2026. Take care, guys.